to the channel. Look what this is. The gas tank for the MGB GT finally arrived. So now the trick is to figure out how we're going to get this tank in the back of this car. So let's go check it out real quick. So part of the challenge of having the custom-made flooring here is the fact that we're missing a lot of the actual pre-drilled holes that would normally mount the gas tank. So what we have to do is basically make a pattern to figure out where we need to drill the holes so everything lines up correctly. So not a problem. My beautiful assistant was able to kind of cut out a pattern. We'll go get it and see how it fits real quick. Awesome. Okay, so the good news is we have a nice little cardboard pattern cut out of the actual box that the tank came in. So we have all the holes located. Now, in doing a little research, it seems that the holes on the actual MGB floor is a combination of holes and bolts. Now, unfortunately, all we're going to have are just holes on our end because we don't have any pre-welded bolts. But now we at least know where all the bolts are, so we can take a center punch and go through and figure out where these holes are. And then the other thing is we're going to actually use a hole saw to cut, well, I'm not sure if it's a hole saw, but a special kind of bit that's basically used to cut holes in metal to make some nice clean holes in here. So I think what I'm going to do is once I can drill some pilot holes, figure out what size bit goes in here, and then we'll go from there. So awesome. Really the tool we're going to be using to cut these holes. So as we kind of set it in here, it looks like it's right between 3/8 and 7/16. So I think we're going to just go as a 3/8 hole, at least temporarily. That seems to actually cover it. So this makes really nice clean holes in metal. So I definitely recommend you have one if you don't have one already. So, okay, well, let's go ahead and get the pattern put in the car. Let's try to line it up with a few of the bolts and see where we go. Awesome. Okay, so we have our template in here. The good news is that we actually have some holes that did not get filled in. So I'm not sure if you can show those over here, but we have some holes that are not filled in. So we have 1, 2, and 3. This hole here is actually not filled in either, but it's this little bracket for the anti-sway bars slightly in the way. So really and then this hole over here actually is an existing bolt that we're going to get bolted onto. So we really looks like are only missing these 1, 2, 3, 4 holes, and then the one that's over here. So what we're going to do, we have our cool little center punch. Very carefully, so this doesn't move, I'm going to basically stick it in here and then punch the metal below. So now the theory is when I pull this up, there'll be some nice little marks. But before I do that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab just a marker real quick, just so I don't have to kind of guess too hard. So I'll be right back. Actually, I'm just going to put a dot over here close by. And then this one. So, okay, so we'll pull the bolts out. Let's see what came out. Take that out. And as the French say, voila. See, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's 4. Thank goodness that we marked it. If not, we'd never see it. And then there's 5 over here somewhere. Right there. So, theoretically, our next trick would be to drill a hole in there and see how well it's going to work out, right? Now, the trick is, do we just try the hole saw right away, or do we do a pilot screw, a pilot hole first? So the safe route is definitely going to pilot hole. So I think we'll do a couple pilot holes here, and then we'll see how the actual drill works. So. Okay, so we decided we're going to go to 3/8. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape off the 7/16. That way we know exactly how far to go and we don't get too carried away. So, because I think 3/8 is the magic number, so. We'll just verify that in a sec, so we'll see how this works. So that is one more. There's one. Yep, it's pretty hot, so we'll let it cool off for a second. I think we want to go a little bit bigger on that hole. So one of the steps before we can install the gas tank is we have these little rubber pieces right here that need to be kind of at least temporarily supported on the top of the gas tank before we put it in so they don't move around. So what I've done is I've cut them all to size. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my good friend, Mr. 3M weather stripping glue. This stuff is amazing, believe it or not. So I've got them kind of up to the side where I want them. And I'm going to basically put some little 3M here, little 3M here, flip them over, and voila. I'm not going to really glue anything in between. I looked at some of the pictures online. It kind of just seems that really the whole idea is just to provide these little support on the rubber, so it doesn't. I'm assuming so it doesn't tin can and rattle around. So yeah. So let me go ahead and get a little 3M in there, and we'll kind of get those glued in. It'll look good. Awesome. Okay. So anyhow, I forgot to film this, but I got a little bit of our good friend, the 3M weather stripping glue down, and did a few dots. Got it kind of glued in the correct pattern, I hope. So I think the tank now. So I've got the webbing. I do have the sender. I've put some of these little nut clips in. I don't have enough for the whole thing. Unfortunately, I think I said before, the original floor had some bolts. We're gonna have holes all the way through with one exception, which I believe is this hole right here that actually does have a bolt. So we'll just basically make up for that with just washers and some other stuff. But yeah, I think this guy is ready to go in the car. We've just got to get the floor painted. Okay, good deal. So we got the first coat on, which is a coat of primer. So I'm just using Rust-Oleum. So kind of get that all nice and primed. And then we'll go back here in a little bit with the actual paint. We've got the paint kind of color matched. Actually, this is the radio console, which used to be silver, which now is red. So that's actually, I would say, pretty darn close. So yeah, so we decided since we're going to use the red in the boot, it would be good to at least try it out on something else, see how close it is. And anyhow, I've been wanting to get this done for quite a while now, just so I can get a few bits and pieces kind of finished up inside the car. I was going to look at the actual rubber molding, but man, it was super expensive. So anyhow, so the next steps will be to either paint some kind of a texture in the bottom, because the car has some kind of like a I don't know, bed liner texture, I would describe it, for the inside. So, or just paint straight up red. We're thinking about putting a matte down anyway. So, okay, good deal. Well, we'll catch up here in a sec. Good news, the boot is painted. So, color match actually looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So, was not a whole lot of fun painting just because you're painting with a spray can on a flat surface, and at some point in time you're also in a confined environment and there's just paint fumes going everywhere. But yes, I did wear a VOC mask, so that's a good thing. But anyhow, it looks decent, so I'm just kind of waiting it to fully dry. Tank is all ready to go in. I actually had some engine compartment slash sound deadening stuff for my sailboat. So I made a couple like little rings over here. I actually forgot to order the rings from Moss, and just couldn't be bothered at this point in time. So we'll see how that works. So anyway, yeah, cool. So next step is gonna get this thing underneath the car. So we'll jump into that here shortly. Awesome. Okay. So today is the day that hopefully we get the tank put on, so see how it goes. The thought process is we'll put it on the jack and then kind of jack it into place so we don't necessarily have to hold it or try to get bolts and stuff put through. We do have one bolt underneath we'll use to line that up, so then other than that it's going to be, I think, that's described as a Benny Hill moment where everything is just going to go to fast forward. Because I'm sure it's going to take all kinds of time to do this. So, okay, good deal. Let's get it done. So, good news, we've decided to quit filming because it's such a hassle trying to get everything to line up. But as you can see, we have a few bolts here in the boot. So life is good. So as I said before, we actually only end up with one stud left over. So we have a few extra bolts that what we normally see. We are going to put a rubber mat in here, so hopefully that should take care of it. There is the bits and pieces coming out for the fill up. The tank actually looks pretty decent. Nice thing about it, it's this nice black finish. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Quite frankly, it would have been easier to have installed it without the exhaust in the way, but I just did not feel like taking it all apart. So anyhow, so really next steps, it's going to be to figure out how to get from over here where the sending unit is and also the gas pickup to the fuel pump. How to get the gas, what would you call that, the nozzle, hooked up into the tank. And what the heck is this little dude right here? I haven't seen anything that actually goes in there yet, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. So yeah, anyway, so we're really close. Then once it's all cooked up, we're gonna get some oil, get a battery, get some antifreeze, get some gasoline, and we're gonna fire this baby up, or at least hope to fire this baby up. So I think I'm gonna end the episode at this location. So on the next episode, we will most likely finish getting the tank sorted. We will get the fuel lines hooked up to the pump, and we will see where that leads us. So again, as always, thank you for watching. If you found this interesting and would like to see more content like this, please subscribe. And if you liked it, give me a big thumbs up down below. Take care, see you next time. Bye-bye. If you like this video, hit subscribe and give us a big like down below. Thanks for watching.